Our bodies have this incredible immune system, right? It's like a vigilant army protecting us from invaders 24/7. But have you ever stopped to think, what stops that army from turning on us? Well, that exact question is at the heart of a recent Nobel Prize in Medicine, awarded for a discovery that, honestly, changes everything we thought we knew about how our bodies keep the peace. Okay, so let's really get into this. For decades, immunologists were kind of stumped by this puzzle. How does our immune system know the difference between a dangerous virus and, say, our own healthy heart tissue? The laureates we're about to talk about, they figured out a massive piece of that puzzle. So the prize goes to these three scientists, Mary E. Brunko, Fred Ramsdell, and Shimon Sakaguchi. And their combined work basically uncovered this hidden layer of our body's defense system. When Mary Brunko got the call from the Nobel Committee, she was so sure it was a prank, she told her husband, "Don't be ridiculous." That just tells you how out of the blue and truly groundbreaking this work was. And this quote from the Nobel Committee's chair really puts it into perspective. He says, their discoveries were decisive. That's a huge word. This wasn't just another small step. It was a fundamental shift in understanding our own biology. It helps explain why we aren't all walking around with serious autoimmune diseases. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. What did they actually find that was so revolutionary? And, maybe more importantly for all of us, how is this knowledge already changing the way we fight some of our absolute toughest diseases? All right, let's meet the unsung heroes of our immune system. We're not talking about the soldiers here, we're talking about the peacekeepers, the ones who maintain the checks and balances inside our own bodies. The concept at the center of all this is called peripheral immune tolerance. It sounds complicated, but think of it like this. It's a crucial backup system. It's the fail-safe that kicks in after our immune cells are already out there circulating through our body to make sure they don't go rogue and start attacking our own stuff. And this discovery basically reframed our whole understanding of immune protection. For the longest time, scientists knew about the first layer, central tolerance. This happens in the thymus gland, which is like a boot camp for immune cells. It gets rid of most of the cadets that might attack our own body. But, some always slip through, and that's where peripheral tolerance comes in. It's the second line of defense, patrolling the rest of the body to handle those escapees. And the star players of this backup system are these amazing cells called regulatory T cells, or TREGs for short. Just think of them as the immune system's designated peacekeepers. Their job isn't to attack invaders. It's to go around telling the more aggressive cells to calm down, to stand down. They keep the peace. So how in the world did they find these cells and figure out what makes them tick? Well, the story unfolded over a decade of really persistent research that at times went completely against what everyone else in the field believed. It all started back in 1995. Shimon Sakaguchi just went against the grain. He found this special group of T cells that could actually suppress the immune system. Then, fast forward to 2001, and Brunko and Ramsdell find the genetic key. They discovered that a single mutated gene called FOXP was the cause of a deadly autoimmune disease in both mice and in children. And finally, in 2003, Sakaguchi put it all together. He proved that FOXP was the master switch, the single gene that literally creates and controls these peacekeeping Treg cells. And that was the aha moment. Finding FOX3 was everything. It was like they had finally found the genetic instruction manual for the immune system's self-control. For the very first time, we understood, on a genetic level, how our body actually builds these vital peacekeeper cells. But here's where the story gets really, really interesting and frankly a bit complicated. Because these peacekeepers, these trigs, well, they're a double-edged sword. They're essential for protecting us from ourselves, but sometimes they end up protecting our worst enemies. And this shows you their two faces perfectly. On the one hand, Tregs are the absolute heroes. They stop autoimmune diseases by keeping our immune system from going haywire. But on the other hand, they can be the villains. Cancer is incredibly clever, and it learns how to hijack Tregs, basically recruiting them as bodyguards. Tumors trick these peacekeepers into forming a protective shield around them, which lets the cancer grow completely hidden from our immune system's attack. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a theory. It's a huge area of medical research right now. We're talking more than 600 clinical trials happening that are trying to figure out how to block these hijacked Tregs. But the challenge is immense. I mean, how do you take down the protective shield around a tumor without accidentally disabling the brakes on the entire immune system and causing a massive autoimmune reaction? It's an incredibly delicate balancing act.
So all of this brings us to the future. Now that we understand how the immune system's own brakes work, we can start to learn how to control them. And this one discovery has basically opened up two totally new avenues in medicine.
So, you've got these two main strategies. For autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, where your immune system is way too aggressive, the goal is to boost the Tregs. You want more peacekeepers to calm things down. It's the same idea for preventing organ transplant rejection. But for cancer, you do the exact opposite. The goal is to block the Tregs, to essentially take the brakes off the immune system so it can finally see the cancer and launch a full-scale attack. When you step back and look at it, the work of these Nobel laureates has shown us that our immune system isn't just about attack, attack, attack. It's about balance. And it leaves you with this incredible thought. What if the next great leap in medicine isn't some new drug we invent, but just learning how to master the powerful, delicate system of control that already exists inside every single one of us?